Welcome to another week that promises to be highly questionable. What do you like today, Bo?
Find out if we talk about a really entertaining Carolina Duke game or Grayson Allen elbowing somebody.
Dale, papi.
Did you hate yesterday's silent first half of Warriors Knicks as much as Draymond Green?
I don't think I've ever hated anything as much as Draymond Green hated this thing. They went all silence, no music, no nothing. Sloppy first half. Listen to Draymond Green afterward.
Changed the flow of the game. It changed everything. You get so used to playing the game a certain way, and completely changed that. I think it was disrespectful to everyone from Michael Levine to Rick Welts and all these people who've done these things to change the game, from an entertainment perspective, and give a game a great vibe. That's complete disrespect.
You know who loved that first half? Old sports writers who have been longing for a time with no T-shirt cannons, no music, where you can just hear the sneakers, and everyone else seemed to hate it. And here's what was wrong about it, because I didn't mind it so much, but I could understand how it would affect the flow of people used to playing a different style. You cannot tell players 15 minutes before the game that you're making that kind of change without bargaining it with the players' union. That part disrespectful.
But where the Knicks lost me is this thing about they wanted to present the game in its purest form. Like you don't have this arbitrary line on the floor to make some baskets 3 points and some baskets 2 points. What is this purity that you are yearning for in basketball? Because Rucker Park is probably as pure as basketball can get, and they playing music all the damn time, making all the noise in the world. In the NBA, I don't have a great understanding for why it is that people are so bothered by the music and everything else. What I want to know is, how'd the fans enjoy that with the stoppages in play and then there's no video? Like, did the purity do it for you then?
Is Mark Cuban just being a hater when he says Russell Westbrook isn't an MVP candidate?
Okay, Mark Cuban said long ago that he did not think Russell Westbrook was a superstar. I really don't know if he thinks so right now, but in spite of Russell's triple-double average, he does not have him in his top 3 MVP candidates. He thinks that James Harden, LeBron James, and Kawhi Leonard are over Russell Westbrook, and part of his point is that team's probably not going to win 50 games. I mean, it's kind of hard to argue with that, right? In this league, we typically give the MVP to a player at least on a division winner. Russell Westbrook isn't that.
He keeps putting the line at 50 games, and he says no MVP candidates unless you win 50 games. But ask yourself this, do you really think that Russell Westbrook has been markedly better than he was last year? I know all his numbers are better, but all he's got this year that he didn't have last year was the absence of Kevin Durant to take some of those numbers. Russell Westbrook is a formed player who is statistically better, but isn't actually better.
They didn't ask him to do more. And the wild thing is he's good at it.
I know what he's really thinking. In back of his mind, he's saying, the only MVP candidate I can think of is of the German giraffe. That's the guy that really makes it happen.
Well, here's the thing, right?
Right.
If Russell Westbrook played for him, Mark Cuban wouldn't be making any of these arguments.
If Dirk was averaging a triple-double, it wouldn't matter if they won 15 games at the end of the year. Mark Cuban would have him as his MVP.
And ask him to take another pay cut.
Yeah, and he might do it.
Who had the more impressive comeback, Myles Garrett or John Ross?
Well, I think there's a consensus answer to this, and it's the consensus #1 pick who made himself that based on this draft. But let's show you someone running really fast, faster than anyone has ever run at the combine.
Wearing number 42.
And he kind of cramped up there, so ostensibly, I guess he might have been able to go a little bit faster than that. That's faster than Chris Johnson. Cost himself an island by not running in Adidas and running in Nike instead. But Myles Garrett was overwhelming. Look at this. Defensive linemen aren't supposed to be able to do this stuff. This isn't even the impressive part of it.
It's like a decathlon for him.
Yeah, that's the impressive part right there. Higher than the running backs, higher than people much smaller than him. Monster athlete, just made himself the #1 pick in the draft.
Except he probably was going to be the #1 pick anyway. John Ross probably made himself more money. Myles Garrett, far more impressive in all the things that he was able to do. John Ross, who I may not have heard of until this weekend. I don't know who the Al Davis is in the league at this point in time, but if Al Davis was alive, he'd have taken that dude the first chance he had because all he needed was a 40 time.
Hey, Myles, congratulations. Now you get to go to Cleveland. Enjoy the weather and all the amenities there, buddy.
Oh, he's going to run faster when he learns that. It's going to be an even faster time away from everything Cleveland.
Was it smart for the Washington professional football team to extend Jay Gruden right now?
Washington is a mess. Their general manager didn't go to the combine. Nobody knows exactly why he didn't go to the combine. So they want the illusion of stability. They give the coach, who is in the 4th year of a 5-year deal, 2 more years. And what it shows you again is just do a little of good work with the quarterback, and that's enough to get you a lot of money and a lot of extensions as the head coach. It's enough to get you a job in the NFL. If you're Ben McAdoo and you do a little bit with somebody, you can get a head job. He did a little bit with Kirk Cousins, so they've extended him. And it doesn't mean much because now they can end that contract whenever they want to, and they just have to eat the money, which isn't something Daniel Snyder ever minds doing.
Yeah, but here's the thing, though. You're correct that if you work with the quarterback, you can keep your job, but it really, really helps when everything in the organization looks like chaos, and it's fair to question whether or not they needed to do something to make the place seem more stable. The question for me isn't whether Washington should have extended Jay Gruden. It's whether Jay Gruden should have signed the extension, but at that same time, they look like a 5-11 season is right down the pike. And if that comes, guess who's going to be the first person to get blamed? The dude who just signed an extension.
Did Grayson Allen do it again?
All right, Carolina beat Duke on Saturday night, but why would we talk about that when we have something with Grayson Allen? I actually haven't seen this. I just heard about it. Oh,
Yeah.
he did kind of catch him in the face there.
Man, that is not a
And by
pass.
the way, the foul was called on the young man Robinson at one of them senior day matchups, right? Yeah, I mean, you're not telling me that you didn't do that on purpose, man. If you weren't doing it on purpose, what were you trying to do in that moment? What's up with your mans?
When have you ever seen, don't make him my man, let me see that again. When have you ever seen a guy, while dribbling a basketball, put an elbow above his head and flop in the middle of it on top of that? Grayson Allen just can't help himself, Bomani. At this point, this is going to be the way this guy plays. There's going to be a lot of dirt around it.
Now, they reviewed it and gave him a technical, but if I may take a moment, you know there's this prevailing notion or idea that if you're a white player for Duke, that people are automatically going to hate you, right? If you're good and white and go to Duke, people are going to hate you. We do when you elbow people in the head. You know who people don't hate? Luke Kennard, who is white and who is cold and got to be sick of having to deal with Grayson Allen.
Well, he better watch out because if he elbows 8 or 9 more guys on the head, Coach K might suspend him, you know?
And suspend him indefinitely for 1 day.
Coming up next on my son's TV show, Jay Wright. I'll tell you what I can do. You see this banana? I make it disappear.
Almost doing magic tricks for you now. I mean, Jay, good talking to you. Thank you. I mean, what is that?
My son's TV show is brought to you by Jaguar, the art of performance. Joining us at the beach today is Jay Wright.
Dresses real sharp, the Villanova head coach. He won his first national championship last year in a pretty exciting fashion. New book, Attitude, Develop a Winning Mindset on and off the court. It's out now. Let's talk to him. Jay, help us with some of the details on your childhood in Philadelphia. What are the landmarks there?
Landmarks, well, I was born in Philadelphia and grew up in the northeast suburb of Bucks County. And you know, big Eagles, Phillies, Sixers, Flyers fan, like everybody in Philly. And like everybody in Philly thought the whole world revolved around Philadelphia sports, Philadelphia basketball. There was nothing else. The Big Five teams, the Sixers, you just didn't think anything else compared. You would never leave, like no one in Philly ever leaves. I'm so grateful to be back there. I love the city and love being around my family.
Can you tell us how close you came to taking that Sixers job? Like, how real was all of that?
The time that when Ed Stefanski was the president, I'm not even sure what year that was now, but I did meet with Ed Stefanski. It was our hometown team. I grew up in Philly, still root for the Sixers to this day, and Brett Brown's doing an amazing job. That time, I thought about it. I did, and I just thought, you know what? I love my job at Villanova. I would love to be the coach of the Sixers, but I didn't want to give up the Villanova job to do it. So you can't have both.
Now, what was it like for you playing in the Sunny Hill League in Philadelphia?
Other good stuff. That was actually a great eye-opening experience for me because back in those days, the Sunny Hill League only had a few teams. You had to try out for those teams, and it was a big deal to make those teams. I played for a guy named Mr. Black. He was a Philadelphia police officer, 6'5", big, strong guy. His son, Steve Black, was on our team, was one of the great players in LaSalle history. All those guys were better players than me. I was the 13th man, and basically I would play if those guys got in trouble. If they didn't, because Mr. Black was a tough guy. If they were late for practice, if they didn't show up for their tutoring session, Sonny Hill would make you go to Saturday morning tutoring. If they didn't show up, then they would play me.
What can you tell us about the basketball games that you were involved in Philadelphia, where there's a bullet hole in the car, where the passenger door is removed several different times? Several times? Why is someone removing the passenger door from your car?
No, we used to practice at this place with the Sonny Hill team. Mr. Black used to get this place called Germantown Stevens Academy in Germantown, which is right around North Philly. And we had a family station wagon, one of those white station wagons with the panels on, wood panels on the side. I came out one day and there was a bullet hole in my front window. And for a kid from Bucks County outside Northeast Philly, that didn't happen a lot. And it was a great experience for me, though. I was a little scared coming out of there at night, but the guys on the team were always great to me, and there was a toughness in those practices that I learned as a player, and have always demanded of our players.
Is Mr. Black the coach whose inbounds plays you would change, or was that a different coach? Was that somebody else? Because that seems like an awful idea.
Yes. That was my high school coach, who's a saint, Coach Mike Holland. We would be in huddles, and I waited at least till my senior year to do this, but yeah, we would come out of huddles and with him, and then I would get everybody together and say, we're gonna change this a little bit. This is what we're gonna do.
Yeah, how would that go over with Mr. Black?
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't have done it to Mr. Black. No. He was a Philadelphia police officer. He had meat hooks for hands. He would kill me. I wouldn't have done that.
Now, how's it go over with somebody?
Coach Holland wanted to kill me too.
But how's it go over if somebody does it with you?
Yeah, it sounds like Kyle Lowry might have wanted to do some of that with you.
Kyle Lowry, that's a great comparison. Kyle Lowry did that at times, and that turned into a battle. That was always a battle. He did have a great basketball IQ. The problem with Kyle Lowry was sometimes his plays were better.
How close did you come to actually kicking Kyle Lowry off of your team?
You got good stuff, Dan. Very close a number of times. Actually, the summer before he even started school, he came into summer school, and just going to class every day in the summer he was not expecting. He didn't like that. Before he even started his freshman year, we had to say, look, dude, if you're not going to do this, if you're not going to go to class and do what we do, there's no reason to even be here. So we actually had his mom and his brother come in, and we had a meeting, and they decided to stay. Thank God.
Wow. So that's what was that meeting like? So several times you were close to kicking Kyle Lowry off of your basketball team.
Oh yeah. Even after his freshman year, he was working. So he went from that, where he didn't want to go to class and didn't like the structure of what we had. He really bought in his freshman year. And then in between his freshman year and sophomore year, in the summer when we were working out, he would work out with our strength coach, and then he would go work out with Jameer Nelson and his strength coach. And I had to tell him, you can't go halfway in our stuff because you got your own thing going on. We're all going to do this together. So we had to have another meeting. And his sophomore year, which was his last year, he was one of the great Villanova leaders and Villanova basketball players of all time.
Go ahead, Poppy. What do you have for Jay?
Hey, Jay, I heard that you are a fashion guru.
Oh, yeah.
How do you like my guayabera?
I love it, and we need you to add some style to that show. You bring some color, some passion. I love it, man. I wish I was down there with you. That's how I would dress if I was down there.
But
I'll tell you what I can do. You see this banana? I make it disappear.
He's doing magic tricks for you now. Jay, good talking to you. Thank you. What is that? See you later, Jay.
It's in my bucket list, Poppy, to talk to you on TV, man. I love it.
See you later.
Nice talking to you.
Did a magic trick for you. What the hell was that?
Something going on. I feel funny. Can't tell me nothing different. I know tuition. Intuition setting in like Steve Vision. I'll still close my eyes. I still see visions. I still hear that voice in the back of my mind. So what I do, I still take heed. I still listen. I still paint that perfect picture. My words still skipping through air. I know you can, don't, won't, get it. Happy birthday, Benny Siegel. This broadcast from the Clevelander Hotel on beautiful South Beach, Miami. Time to play the game that this is still turned from the weekend. Do you question?
You give us topics and events, and we question.
Do you question this metaphor?
It's Michael Jordan at the Dean Dome. Apparently, the football team's going to wear Jumpman because you jump when you play football.
All of the players here tonight, I wish you guys nothing but best. The ceiling is the roof. Let's make it happen. Let's keep moving forward. Congratulations.
But Doran's looking at him like, what did you just say?
The ceiling is the roof.
What does that mean? That means that Michael Jordan will get applause for anything he says still, even if it doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
Well, look, in Chapel Hill, he absolutely will. Like, that you have to understand. He could say literally anything in Chapel Hill. My thing is, who are the people who are trying to make sense of what Mike said? Okay, I was on Mike and Mike this morning, and I found myself trying to make sense of it because it's Mike.
Let's see the big guy in the background again. What was he doing? Was he as befuddled as we were? Well, let's see the big guy in the background.
You talking about a big center block?
I wish you guys nothing but best. The ceiling is the roof. Let's make it happen. Let's keep moving forward. Congratulations. The ceiling is the roof. The ceiling is the roof.
Also, Mike wished him nothing but best. I mean, I think it's fair to say that he wasn't exactly in, playing shape.
Did you see Michael's reaction once he realized what he said?
No, let's see. What did he do?
Yo!
Oh, come on. That ain't nice. Why are we doing that?
Wow. That's the best. I didn't see it coming. I honestly did not.
Do you question if players going into the stands put fans in danger?
We are going to Canada's Junior League Hockey. They tell us it starts in the penalty box, and my imagination has gone the full R test.
I think Vernon Maxwell when I think of players going into the stands.
Whoa, let's see. Oh. Wow.
Oh, see, this would have been so different.
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
It's only one of him.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Let me tell you something, kiddo. You can't go back on the team now. Like, once you make this decision, you got to go in here and make some hay. He is rather having hay made of himself. He had to run away from the people.
Was there a shirtless guy in the middle of that? For some reason, there was a shirtless guy. Do you imagine that Steven Jackson and Ron Artest would have been allowed back in the locker room if they'd taken that beating?
Here's the only thing, though. Junior League, right? So that's a young dude. He basically learned the hard lesson of don't try to fight your father, except about 10 times over with other people's dads.
Man, what happened to him? I mean, he doesn't know what he's doing. You got to swing that stick. When you get into a situation like that, you got to swing this stick, buddy. That's your best friend. You're all by yourself there, surrounded by nasty fans. Swing that stick, boss. Swing it.
Let's be honest. If you're on skates, you're going to try to go into a crowd with that many people, you probably should bring a stick. Like your 2 hands versus their 30?
That seems like terrible advice all around.
I mean, that all depends on how bad you want to win.
All around terrible advice from everybody here.
You're willing to lose in a way that I simply am not.
I'd rather be mocked for getting beat up than I would end up in jail with a felony caught.
I'd rather hit you with a stick than get hit with your fist.
Time to play the game that looks fantastic in spandex. See? Or no?
Tell us what's on television tonight. We'll tell you if we're intrigued.
You sure they didn't say Spanx?
On Sunshine Sports, Rangers and Lightning.
No, thank you. But let's check in with a Lightning recent game. Shootout goal. Nikita Kucherov. Let's check out. What did he do? Fake out situation. Oh, taking the circuitous route. Oh!
You allowed to do that?
Oh, look at that. Yes.
I thought he kicked it.
Oh, that's trickeration.
Wow.
Yeah, right there. That's brave. That's confidence. Bomani, are you intrigued?
No.
Yeah.
I mean, I watched that and I was hoping it would be something to make me get into this regular season hockey. No.
As if he's going to get into playoff
Oh, no, I
hockey.
do playoff hockey.
Yeah,
Don't put me in a box.
Poppy, are you intrigued?
Oh, see, I'm very intrigued. But listen, if you're the goalie, you can't let the guy like that make make you look like a fool, you know? I mean, if he does that to you, you got to chase the guy down the skate rink with, you know, and chase him with your stick and start beating the hell out of the guy. So make sure that he doesn't do it again, you know? In front of everybody, you got to go and you got to hit the out of the guy. And if the ref tries to break the fight up, then you go after the ref. You know, the reputation is on the line, you know? You'll never be able to play for another team if you don't do something like that.
You got to admit, that was mad disrespectful.
Tonight on ABC, The Bachelor.
Laughing about? What are you laughing about, man? God, get out of here.
I think going into the fantasy suite is a much bigger deal for me than the other girls here. I mean, I've only been sexually active with one man, and I take sex so seriously. Well, I would love to spend this time with you, so I definitely accept. But I need to remind you of two things.
Okay.
One, I've only been with one person.
Okay.
I just want you to keep that in your mind.
I keep that in mind. I've kept that in mind.
The second thing is that my last boyfriend, my ex, who I was intimate with, never made me orgasm.
Coming into this week, I was actually quite nervous about fantasy suite nights in the sense that I want to have a clear head about it, and not sleeping with the women might help me get to that point.
I think tonight is like the biggest night in my life, or could potentially be a big night that I'll remember for forever.
My life was so much better 40 seconds ago. Bomani, are you intrigued?
Bad idea, dude. Bad idea.
Poppy, are you intrigued?
Oh, see, I'm very intrigued. What the hell is the guy going to do now? You know what I mean? The girl has only been with one other guy. You know, what the hell is the guy supposed to do now? You know, I mean, he's confused now. He was looking for experience, and now, you know, all the bets are off. What? That's all the time we have for today. Thank you for watching.
We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Gracias.
I don't know why this is so funny to me.
I mean, it is funny.